These are this afternoon's top stories. National team selected for World Championships in China. St. Lucia to table a revised purchase requirement for poultry importers. World shocked as China devalues its yuan currency. Good afternoon. Welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Wednesday, 12th August 2015. I am Nisha David. In national news, 3 of the Federation's top sprinters will represent St. Kitts and Nevis at this month's IAAF World Championships in Beijing, China. On Tuesday evening, the St. Kitts and Nevis Amateur Athletic Association, the SKNAAA, announced that national champion Kim Collins, British Lawrence, and the Pan Am Games bronze medalist Antoine Adams met the prerequisites for selection. All 3 athletes will contest the 100-meter race, with Adams being the sole national athlete scheduled to run the 200-meter race. Collins has been competitive throughout the year. He ran his season best time of 9.98 seconds at the national championships. Adams is coming off his consecutive bronze medal performances in the 100 meters at the 2015 Toronto Pan Am Games and in the 200 meters at the NACAC Senior Meet in Costa Rica on Sunday. Lawrence continues to show improvement as he has advanced to the finals in the 100 and the 200-meter races at the different meets. The team will be led by Francel Morris and physiotherapist Alistair James. The World Championships is scheduled for 22nd to 30th August. Meanwhile, President of the Track and Field Association, Glenville Jeffers, will be representing the SKNAAA as a delegate for the historic 50th IAAF Congress, where he will be taking part in the elections of the new IAAF president. Team leader Morris, who is also the association's general secretary, will serve as the second delegate to the IAAF Congress. Premier of Nevis and Minister of Education, Honorable Vance Amory, made an impassioned plea to parents of children attending public schools to discourage them from vandalizing the schools. He wants parents to teach children about the importance of caring for the property. Amory, who was accompanied by Permanent Secretary in the Premier's Ministry, Wakely Daniel, made the appeal on Tuesday, August 11th, at the end of a tour of the Charlestown Primary and the Charlestown Secondary Schools. Referring to the extent of the work being undertaken at the 2 schools, Mr. Amory described it as being quite large. However, he noted that the NIA had thought it necessary to get the project done because the teachers and students needed to function in an environment which is clean and conducive to teaching and learning. He reminded that last year extensive rehabilitation work had been done at the Charlestown Secondary School restrooms, but this time around the entire school was receiving attention. According to Amory, the rehabilitation work includes repairing windows and the various rooms, ensuring they are clean and safe so that the school population would feel comfortable in the classroom. The Consumer Affairs Department has come to the rescue of back-to-school shoppers by providing a comprehensive booklet outlining textbook and school uniform prices, comparisons from different outlets in St. Kitts. The booklet also encompasses several methods to choose from when seeking textbooks. These include buying new or used books, seeking assistance from family or friends to see if the required textbooks are in their possession, or join the government-owned Students' Educational Learning Fund self-program. The booklet is not limited to the purchasing of textbooks and school uniforms, as it also provides back-to-school shopping tips, how to choose the most suitable shoes for the child, tips for measuring school uniforms, how to wear a backpack, and a general school checklist. The booklets are available at the Consumer Affairs Department in the old Development Bank building on Church Street in Basse-Terre. The General Post Office GPO in St. Kitts and Nevis is seeking to make online shopping easier for residents with the launch of a U.S. mailbox service. Deputy Postmaster General Darian Vera said the GPO has been testing a U.S. mailbox service over the past few months. The service allows for 150 registered persons to have mail, products, or other items shipped to an address in the U.S., then sent to the local post office. Vera said that while they try to find ways to keep postal services relevant, the intention is not to replace companies already performing the service, rather to add an option for persons dissatisfied with their current service who cannot afford the higher fees or are unable to collect packages in the capital Bastille. The GPO will officially end the testing phase and launch the service to the public on Friday, October 9th, World Post Day. It will be part of a week-long activities to mark the occasion, and officials are planning a street event to capture the public's attention. Although the service is currently free, a pricing system will be introduced at the launch. Mr. Vera assured that the service will be affordable. However, persons wishing to cash in on the free period can do so now by registering. Regionally, after months of negotiations, St. Lucia's Commerce Minister has disclosed that a bill will be tabled before Cabinet for the rollout of a revised purchase requirement for poultry importers. More in this report.
The Agriculture Minister made clear poultry importers will be required to purchase a larger percentage of the local market. The fallout from the announcement made by the Prime Minister 2 years ago saw the Chamber of Commerce lobby for more consultation. However, the initial increase from 25 to 40% has not been ruled out, and on Tuesday, Commerce Minister Emma Hippolyte confirmed to Newsforce an agreement has been reached.
I would say we had all sectors at the table, and we've had discussion for just over about 2 months now. We also had a facilitator helping us to put the discussion together into a report. That report is now before the Cabinet of Ministers. Based on the information that we've had, and you've heard the Minister before, what we are going to have, the 40% is not off the table, but we have agreed based on all the information that we have that we will have a phased implementation. What is going to happen? You will have a Cabinet decision with the precise method of how we introduce that, and that will be shared with all parties later on.
St. Lucian poultry farmers have long argued that they have been treated unfairly by the private sector. However, the farmers' ability to sustain capacity, meet market demands, and adhere to international health standards remain major sticking points. The government contends these are the growing pains for the expansion of the poultry industry, which includes collaboration with the private sector.
I want to take this moment to thank all for coming together and the give and take that was around the table, and to just ask a few more bit of patience.
All right, so is it no longer an issue that 40% is too much for importers?
No, I'm just saying we sat down, we heard the issues from all sides, and we have agreed on how to move forward.
The bill could be passed in the House within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Rihani Isidore, HTS News Force.
Bahamas immigration officials conducted a number of operations on Tuesday. It was confirmed that 329 people are presently being housed at the detention center. The majority have been identified as Haitian and Cuban nationals.
Daily operations will continue to ensure that only documented persons remain in the country. Neely revealed, though, that in the last few days, a number of persons have been taken to court for breaching the Immigration Act.
Last 2 weeks or so, we took about 10 to 12 persons before the court, charged them for overstaying, working without work permit, fraudulent passport, fraudulent work permit, and also fraudulent extension stamp in their book. Okay, what we would advise people to do is, if you apply to immigration and it's granted a work permit for me to work for you, right? That does not give you the right to allow me to go and work for somebody else. We are now charging you for working out of the scope of your work permit, and my recommendation once we come across these type of person working out of the scope of their work permit is to ask the director and the minister to cancel out your time.
Neely also dismissed claims that certain nationalities are being sought after. The main goal, he contends, is ensuring Bahamians are able to benefit from opportunities rather than those who reside here illegally.
Thank them for it. The more, the better. But we need more Bahamians to dig into what we are doing, because at the end of the day, what we are trying to do, we are trying to create more jobs for Bahamian, be it high or low. Every time we deport expatriates out of the country, that means that the job is open. And so if we continue to do our job with your help, then the employers and stuff have no other alternative but to hire Bahamians and pay them the rightful wage.
Internationally, China stunned the world's financial markets on Wednesday by devaluing the yuan for the second consecutive day, triggering fears that the world's second largest economy is in worse shape than investors believed.
Asian and other stocks fell today after China's central bank devalued the country's yuan currency for the second day running. On Tuesday, in a surprise move, the lender cut its daily reference rate by nearly 2%. And today, the bank moved again, setting the guidance rate for the yuan 1.6% lower. The devaluation of the yuan is good for our exports, says this trader in Shanghai, but it makes prices higher when we, the people, travel abroad. That's how it is. It's good and bad. It reduces the pressure for our export industries. Asian stocks and emerging market currencies reeled as investors feared central banks around the world could rush to weaken their own currencies in response.
The problem is we've been used to the RMB, the yuan, being stable. It's basically a pegged exchange rate still, despite all the talk about widening bands, capital account liberalisation. China has fixed its exchange rate. The US dollar has now strengthened. That's taken China up with it, and China's lost competitiveness.
With the yuan falling to a 4-year low against the dollar, Chinese exporters should get a boost. The economy needs it amid sluggish growth figures and other disappointing economic data.
Hillary Clinton has agreed to hand over to the FBI the private email server that she used as Secretary of State. Her use of private email has generated a barrage of criticism as Clinton runs for president.
Lawyers for presidential hopeful Hillary Clinton have handed over her private email server and a pen drive of work-related emails to the FBI. Clinton's use of a private email for work while she was Secretary of State prompted the FBI to launch an investigation. The US considers federal records to be government property.
Taking a look at the weather. Today will be mostly sunny with a slight chance of showers. Tonight is expected to be partly cloudy with a 20% chance of showers. Seas are moderate with heights up to 5 feet. Temperatures should peak at 83 degrees Fahrenheit. The Met Office says a broad ridge of high pressure and associated low relative humidity will result in mostly dry weather. That brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nisha David.